Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. So here is what is happening today. Now, we have cars like this Honda Civic, and then we have a sporty version known as the Honda Civic Type R. So what I'm gonna do is be Simon Cowell and judge the brand's sport division / sports versions logos to see how they look, design, etc, etc. But before we do get started, this is my own opinion, so if you're gonna hate, do not bother, because if you give a hate comment, I will literally ignore it and you will not achieve anything at all from your typing. So with that out the way, let's get started. The first one is Cupra from Seat. I quite like the carbon fiber background and the shape of it, how it's very spiky on two corners and then it comes together like a spanner or pliers on the bottom end. And the copper, I don't know, it kind of looks alright, but it kind of looks like cheap effect. But you know, like I said, I like the carbon fiber and I like the actual design of the actual logo, so I'm going to give this about a 7, seeing it's just the colour that's bugging me. Next is Mitsubishi with Rally Art. All this really is Rally written with an I with 4 red and then 4 orange stripes and then art in a black background. I really can't give much to this design. It's literally Rally Art with some stripes in it. I'm going to give it I'll give it like a 3 just because it has some colour in it. Next is Mini with the S logo. I like that the logo is red and I like how the outline is silver, and I like how it's just not an ordinary S, it's like some really curvy S that if you look carefully it looks like a winding road. I do feel like it's kind of a small logo seeing it's just one letter, but you know, it's still quite good. I'm gonna give this a 7 as well. And again with Mini we have the John Cooper Works. I like the very thin oval shape with John Cooper written above it, and then the red stripes that go through the middle, and then Works in black cutting in the middle. I'm gonna give that I think I'll also give that a 7 because I like the design and it's got some decent colours in it as well. Next is GR for Toyota. It's got black on one half and red on the other with both. No, actually, I can't actually tell. I think the G is grey and the R is white. I'm not sure. Let me know. But I like how it's slanted a bit, but I still feel like there's not much going on. So I'm gonna give it a 5 because it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Next is the 2 R badges for the Volkswagen. This is the old one on the left and the new one on the right. I prefer the old one because the R looks better and it's got black in the background, so it looks like there's more there. And then the one on the right, I feel like someone tried to write an R but instead tried to write some hieroglyphic and then had a stroke while writing a hieroglyphic. So definitely the left one is better. Give the left one about a 5. The one on the right, it's gonna be a low 2. It's just silver, there's nothing there. Next is a bath for Fiat. There's quite a bit going on in this logo. You've got the weird shield shape, you have a bath written at the top along with the 3 Italian colours of the flag, and then it's split with yellow and red with a scorpion that's been slit right in the middle. This is a really nice design. There's plenty of colours and there's lots going on. This is an 8. I'm even considering giving it a 9. You know what? 8.5. Next is the VRS for Skoda. This really is not much. One letter is in a colour, the rest is just silver with subpar text. It's not the worst thing I've seen. It could be worse. It could be that second R logo. So I'm gonna give this about a 4. Next is Nismo for Nissan. Again, it's not much. One letter is a colour and it's the same colour, red. Although I feel like the text is a bit just a bit cooler than the one in the VRS. So I gave that one a 4 before. I'm gonna give this one about a 4.5 just for the different text. Next is RS, Sport for Renault. It's just silver. I mean, you got R written in silver, so for the dots and the S, and then you got a rectangle joining with the S, but it's also silver. It's not much, although I do like how there's quite a bit of a logo compared to the old R. So I'm gonna give this 3.5, just because there's actually something there. Next is GTI for Peugeot. It's kind of like a 3D effect if you look at it, because the G and the T are silver, but they've got like red on the inners/outsides of it. So it kind of looks like a cool 3D effect, and then the I is just your regular red with a tiny bit of silver somewhere. Just somewhere hidden in there. And the text, it's quite funky. The T, the top of it, it's kind of bigger on one end than the other. So I'm willing to give this about a 6.5. Next is M Sport for BMW. We'll just ignore the 8 for this one and the competition. I do like the 3 colours, the light, dark blue and the red, along with the M as well, and the fact that the colours match the same height as the M and is jointed at the exact same place. I think that's pretty cool. I am willing to give this, I'm willing to give it 6.5. Next is MG for Rover. It looks like a medal, like the colour of a bronze medal. It's I don't know what shape it is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 8. That would make it an octagon with M written small and it goes massive, and then G written massive, and then it just gets a bit smaller. Personally, I don't like this old MG badge. I feel like it's just a bit old person looking, especially with those colours. I'm gonna give it like 2.5, 2. Next is AMG for Mercedes. It's just silver once again, like the Renault badge, but you have got a rectangle on the side which does have slats, and the slats get smaller as you go along, with AMG written in. It looks plain, but it's kind of a cool writing as well. I'm willing to give this one 4.5 because of the slats and the fact that the text is kind of cool despite being plain. Next is DS for Citroen. It just looks like some kid tried to draw letters of a D and an S, and then just drew a Dorito and what looks like a woman's heel with an extra heel on it. So with that silver, just that silver I should say, it's not much, the design is not pretty, it's gonna get a 2. Next is Brabus for Mercedes, / when Smart used to have Brabus on it. We're just looking at the circle, and really it's just like a 3D B. You got B, and then it's like just the background of it that says B you can see as well, and it's just black and just greyish. It's gonna get like a 3. Next is N for Hyundai. I like the shape of the N. I like that there's red as well, and then there's a different size of black on the other side. I still think it's kind of plain though, so I'm gonna give this one about a 4.5. Next is R for Jaguar. The R design is nothing special, but the green and the red circle looks pretty cool to be honest. So I am willing to give this one about 4.5. And then we have SVR for Jaguar again, and also Land Rover. I like how SV is in like this circle, and it says creations at the bottom, and at the V joins at the top, and then the S joins at the bottom, but it doesn't actually join on the other sides. And R is just on the outside. This is gonna give me about 6. Next is the S for Audi. It's basically a big red window with S partially stuck in it, which is not much, I'll be honest. I'll give this one, I don't know, maybe about 3.5 or 4. And then for RS, it's the same thing, except the R has been shoved through the window by the Hulk. But because there's more there, I'll give it an extra half, even though I don't actually remember what I gave it before. Next is STI for Subaru. I'm not gonna be biased here at all, okay? Because if I do, then I know you won't like it. I like the kind of pinkish design. Normally I'd say that's a bit girly, but it works just about on this. I like how it's the outline is the main bit and it's pink, and it's like it's just straight lines and then curves, and then it just cuts off halfway. Like the eye, there's a slat right in the middle, and the S, if you look, it starts at the right, goes right again, and goes at the top, and then goes up the eye and gets cut off. It's like one line, and the black in the middle makes it work, and it's quite, you know, it's a big logo. There's 3 letters in there. I'm gonna give that about 7. Yeah, I'll give it a 7. Next is ST for Ford. I like how the letters are joined together, and I like that they're red and it's got silver in the background, so I'm willing to give that 5.5. And also for Ford RS, I like how, again, it's joints, but this time it's blue and it's joint at the bottom instead. But I do feel like they are, you know, it's like a leg that's just trying to get away from the other leg. I'm willing to give it the same as the ST. Next is VXR for Vauxhall. V and the X are silver, but the red is R, along with a stripe at the bottom that's partially silver but partially red, which I think looks quite a bit cooler. So I'm willing to give that about I'd say 5.5, because you got one letter red and the stripe is like partially one colour and partially the other. And while we're on Vauxhall, Opel with OPC. It's kind of like a 3D effect. It's just silver, but if you look at the sides, it's blue. But you can't see it very well. So I'm going to give it half or even 1 point less than the XR. We have Alfa Romeo with the Quadrifoglio. It's a clover leaf, I think. And it's got a white triangle with the clover leaf in the middle and a little stem that comes out from the clover leaf. I think it looks alright, you know. I'm willing to give that about 5. And that is it for judging what car Sport Division / brand looks the best. And something I didn't expect was the fact that the Abarth won. I wasn't expecting that. But if you agree with me, let me know. If you don't, let me know. If you're gonna hate, don't bother at all. But I will see you guys in the next video, which might be in the middle of the week, between now and whenever, because I have a small update to give you guys. That'll just be a minute video, and then I'll upload the main video as normal. But anyway, if you would like to check out my main channel,
what the hell is he doing?
then I will leave that in the description below. If you could subscribe to that, that would be helpful, and it would be nice of you. But anyway, peace out.